One of the most requested videos lately has been how to make some decent money in the current patch 3.0, and this is what I'm going to talk about today. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous with Down to Earth Astronomy. It's time to talk about money making again. And this time I'm going to give you a method that is fairly effective. I've been testing it now for a couple of days and it seems pretty valid. So let's go over it, and let's start with what you need in terms of hardware. I recommend that you're going to get yourself a fairly quick ship, and this will all make sense in a little bit why you need a quick ship, something maneuverable. I got my Imperial Courier. You don't need to go that extreme. Any small ship will do. I recommend something that's, again, fast and maneuverable. In terms of loadout, you can pretty much do exactly as you want. As long as your jump range is not completely bad, it's okay. The only thing you need to fit is to fit fixed dumbfire missile racks. If you go in and look at the missiles, you of course have Seeker missiles and you have the normal missiles. I recommend fitting at least one Class 2B missile rack or two Class 1B. I've got it fitted 3. Oh, there we go. As you can see, but I've actually never needed more than 1. So 3 was probably overkill. It was because I didn't know how many I would need at the beginning of when I tested this, so I just decided to fit it all the ones I could. So that's pretty much it. Everything else, do what you want. A little bit of cargo probably wouldn't hurt. Cargo bait wouldn't hurt, but other than that, you can do exactly what you want to do. The next thing you want to do is you want to come to the system called LP space 128-32. And in this system, you're going to dock at the single station here in the system. As you can see out here, it is a little bit of a flyer thing. It's 1,500 light seconds out. But we're going to dock here at this station. At the station here, we're going to go to the mission board. And you can see here that I have already leveled up with most of the factions, apart from the one pirate faction in system. And we are going to be looking at Skimmer missions. These were also very, very profitable in the previous patch, and that has carried over to this current version of the game. And we're going to be looking for a very specific type of mission. You can see here we have the symbol for Skimmer missions. These are also for massacre missions, so make sure you get the right ones. But I'll show you what we're looking for. We're looking for missions against a very specific corporation. And they're called 37... See if we can find one here. Here's one. 37 Usera Majoris Silver Creative. So keep that name in mind. I always look for that 37 and then read the rest of the name. And once we go in, we just verify that this is kill skimmers against this corporation. If it is, we're good to go. And while we're here, while we're still trying to find missions, notice there's a new reward system for mission here. We have three choices of rewards. We can choose a cash reward, we can choose a reputation reward, and we can choose a of the module reward. This will change. This will change depending on luck, I guess. So when you hand in, you can choose one of these, and I'm probably going to mention it at the end of the video when we are handing in our missions. But of course, we are most interested in the cash reward. Unless you're not fully allied, I must stress that if you come here and look at the mission board, initially the payout you're going to see is very limited. You're probably going to look at 100, 150,000 credits for a mission, for maybe killing 1, 2, 4 skimmers, something like that. But as soon as you begin to get allied with them, get your reputation up, it begins to increase. You can see here, I have a mission here, which is actually pretty low, 2.5 million. I have missions over 8 million, and in this case, I need to kill 8 sentry skimmers. But when you come back, if you're not fully allied, take the reputation, and it will give you a huge increase in your reputation with the faction here. And if you are fully allied, just take the cash reward. So we're going to take this mission like that, and it's pretty much just simple board hopping. Talked about this several times before. We're going to scroll through the mission board. Oh, that's a massacre mission, so keep that in mind, that even though it says it's the right corporation, this is a pirate massacre mission. So we're not interested in that. See if we can find some more. looks like that was the only one on this mission board. So for here on, it's basic board hopping. I always go solo open, solo private, solo open, solo private, and I just keep cycling through that. I rarely fill up my missions completely. You can fill up to 20 missions of these without any problems. But I rarely do that because after a while, the mission boards will begin to dry out. So what I would have to do is I would keep board hopping in that cycle that I just mentioned until I feel like the mission boards are beginning to dry out. I'm not getting any new missions. That would often happen within 10 to 15 minutes. And at which point I would have between 11 and 15 missions collected. But then again, all this changed based on system state, how many people are here. So remember that this is just an example of a system. There are other systems out there where you can do the same thing. So if you find your own system, it's going to be a lot more profitable than going to a system where everybody else is, because historically we've seen that that can influence the mission board negatively. So it's more difficult to get missions. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to fill up with some missions here. And then you can join me once I have a decent amount of missions. Okay, as the keen viewer will see, if you look at the clock, I spent around about 10 minutes, a little over 10 minutes. As I said, I spent between 10 and 15 minutes board hopping. And I got a decent number of missions. It was actually a pretty good run this time. So now, when we have the missions, we are going to head over to the system 37 USC Majoris, which is right next to us here. So let's plot a route, and let's get going. And there we are. We are now in system. And once we are in system, we are gonna go to the 6th planet, which is the last one here. And we're gonna go to Moon D, which is right here. Open it up, and on that we will see the Kirtlik, something, observatory. I see I'm wanted here, which I will explain in a bit. And we're gonna head there. It is a little bit of a journey. You can see here just over 7,000 light seconds. So, but it doesn't take too long. So let's head up there. So we're at the observatory. I just deployed my missile rack, as you probably guessed, and this is where we're going to be killing our skimmers. But there is a catch, and I'll show you. You are of course gonna get wanted, but with the new crime and punishment system, that bounty is only gonna be applied to your ship and not to your commander. So when you leave the ship at the station, go to your other ship, your bounty will be gone, since it will be tied to the ship and not to you as a commander. So when we go closer here, when we pass within, I think, 300 meters, we will see skimmers will begin to approach. We also see there are some turrets here and over here, but they are not really a threat, since they can just easily be taken out with a couple of missiles, and they're gone. We're gonna move closer, move within 200 meters, and we get 3 skimmers to spawn, which can easily be killed with a couple of missiles. You will not take all of them with one missile if you shoot them early. So here's the trick. There's a trick to this. Instead of board hopping, what you're gonna do is you're gonna reverse, and you're gonna make sure they're all dead, and then you move out beyond 300 meters. That was a little far this time. And then move in, and new skimmers will spawn. So we kill those. Once we make sure they are all dead, we move out beyond 300 meters, we move back in, and we have ourselves a new set of skimmers. And you just shoot those up, reverse. This is why a mobile ship was a good idea. So you can easily just get out and get back in, like that. And there's our new set of skimmers. And from here, you can pretty much guess, you just reverse out and go back in, and you just keep killing skimmers. You can see I get updates for missions that are being completed. And when you go over to the transacting tab, we all completed a few of them. As long as the missions has a timestamp down here, that means they're not yet completed. So we can open that up and see we've currently killed none. Kills confirmed 0 of 12 on this mission. So I'm just gonna keep going, keep doing this until all the skimmers are dead. And that should be the last set of skimmers. Let's see. None of our missions has any timestamps. That means we're done. So, last thing, we not just need to head back and hand in the missions and get our reward. And we're on the landing pad. So, let's go ahead and let's hand in the missions and let's see how much we actually made. So, I'm currently sitting on 3,400,000 and let's say 49. yeah, million. 3,449,000,000. Let's write that down. Like that. Okay. So now it's just about handing in the missions. And, as I said, when you take up these missions, sometimes you will have the opportunity to choose. You will always get the cash reward. Sometimes you will have the opportunity to get a reputation, marked by a star like this. Don't mistake it for the one called influence. If you're not fully allied, of course I am fully allied, so I'm going to take the cash reward. But if you're not fully allied, take the reputation, get that reputation up. You will see an increase in payment. The less payout you're going to get for the reputation is going to pay you back the next run you're going to make. Trust me. But I am just going to hand all these missions in and pick my cash reward here. And once they hand it in, let's see how much credit they actually made. And that should be it. Hand it in. And it looked like I made pretty much 90 million in this run, which is very good. I should say this is not representative for a normal run. This was an extraordinary good run. So normally the runs, when I'm not recording, I can do the runs from when I leave the station till I'm back. It takes around 15 minutes. It of course depends on how many missions you have, but again, the more missions you have, the more money you're gonna make. So spend around 15 minutes to go out there, shoot down the skimmers and come back. And then depending on how long you decide to board hop, let's say you spend the full 15 minutes. I do not recommend spending more than 15 minutes. So that means that a single run should take you about half an hour. Of course, I made 90 million here. That's very extreme, as I said. You should probably expect to be making 50 to 60. So again, if we're going to be a little bit conservative here, let's say 50. So 50 million, half an hour. It's around about 100 millions per hour. With, of course, the chance to get a very good run like the one I had here, where the missions just kept spawning and spawning and spawning, and you're gonna get a ton of money. Anyway, there is some other thing I want to quickly tell you here before we end the video today. That is, first of all, I highly recommend that you go out and fight a system. There are lots of systems that give skimmer missions like this. Because again, if a system is overpopulated, it's gonna be difficult to get the missions to spawn. I'm also working on several other methods that might be more profitable. I haven't tested them out yet, but they're at least gonna be probably at the same level, I would expect. So stay tuned to the channel, remember to subscribe, because I am going to put up videos when I've done testing those methods as well. I have a long list of stuff that I'm testing at the moment, and this one turned out very, very well. I also need to say a big thank you to Commander Shin Akuma for contacting me and telling me about this. I didn't know skimmer missions was profitable, but I haven't found a very good location to showcase it. He told me, so thanks a lot, dude, for contacting me and telling me about this awesome place. Anyway, I really hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a like down below. And again, remember to subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I will see you guys in space.